Well, to achieve its aim of stimulating the economy and providing infrastructure that Nigeria needs, the federal government has approved a new debt management strategy for 2016 to 2019. And this is to replace the previous one, which expired in December 2015. This was one of the decisions reached at the Federal Executive Council meeting, which also resolved to go for more external borrowing. Briefing State House correspondents at the end of that meeting, presided over by Professor Yemi Oshibajo. The Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, said the borrowing will be cost effective.
The government recognises that for the next 3 years, to really stimulate this economy and to provide the infrastructure that we will need to be borrowing. So we need to borrow at the most cost-effective rate and under the most cost-effective and beneficial terms. And also, the government recognises that there is a need to stimulate the private sector. For the private sector to really grow, banks must lend to the private sector. So we don't want government borrowing crowding out the private sector. So the government has taken a strategic decision that where possible, we will borrow more externally. That is external debt in dollars or in other currencies, because the interest rates are cheaper, the tenures are longer, and thirdly, it means that there's more room for banks to lend to private sectors, especially small and medium-sized enterprises. So the strategy was approved and by the Federal Executive Council after much debate, and the Federal Executive Council were approving it, but gave some guidance as to the thinking behind it, which was that as we're moving more of our debt to dollar, we need to focus more on export, especially non-oil export. And a discussion was held around how do we make export easier.